This is Alex Milstein. I'm the editor-in-chief of Betting News Now, and this is Bet Ed Now, bite-sized bits of betting industry knowledge. My guest today is Pete Primeau, who doesn't need an introduction. He's an industry legend. He's also the founder of Primeau Furniture Sales, which helps retailers with advertising, sales training, and much more. So thank you for coming on the show today, Pete.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alex. How are you today?
Everything's great. I'm just glad that I got your last name pronounced correctly.
It's okay. It took me a while before I got it. So
Yeah.
appreciate you being here. And what you got? What's going
Yeah.
on?
So today I wanted to talk to you about the relationship between retailers and manufacturers. I think a lot of the time there's a gap in communication between them. And I was wondering if you could fill us in on some ways that either retailers or manufacturers or both could help bridge that gap and encourage more communication.
Boy, that is that could be a seminar, an all-day seminar, Alex. So let me start with this. I've been at this for 41 years, and I've been very, very blessed to meet thousands of retailers along my journey and hundreds of manufacturers. I'm going to start with what the manufacturers could do, and then I'm going to go into what the retailers could do. And anytime you want to go deeper on something, just let me know. But there's a lot here. So when I became a Certa rep, I had already been in retail for 9 years. So I was a retail salesperson, a retail store manager, a sales trainer, and a general manager of retail stores before I became a Certa rep. And I did that for 9 years after school. And one of the things that I realize now is when I had the opportunity to work for Bob Sherman and then Barbara McKay, who later became Barbara Sherman, and Jeff Allen, I was working for some of the best people in the industry, and I was really lucky to have those people as mentors. And not everybody had mentors that knew what they were doing and provided them with a good education. There are some reps that I know. One of the best reps that I know didn't know the difference between different types of latex, and it was because he was told wrong by a sales manager who was in an authority position, and he learned wrong, and I had to teach him the right way. And that's how misinformation gets spread throughout our industry. So number one, I guess, as manufacturers, when we work for a good manufacturer and we have good bosses and good managers who give us a good foundation and good base of knowledge, we should really treasure that. I know several reps that told me the very first thing that they learned about retailers was that retailers lie. And I said, really? I said, I know some do, and some manufacturers lie if you ask the retailers, right? So you hear this thing on both sides, but this was actually a name brand company. And the very first thing out of the trainer's mouth is that all retailers are liars. And so it puts up this fence, this barrier that makes us view the other person as a suspect instead of a collaborator, an equal, somebody that I should listen to, somebody that I can learn from, and together we can grow our business together, which is what I believe the relationship between a retail dealer and a manufacturer should be. It should be a collaboration. We should learn from each other. We should be open to sharing ideas with each other. And we should both walk away from it feeling better about each other and being wiser for having known that person. And when you come into it, putting this arbitrary fence up, that's the enemy. They lie. I think that's a really bad thing to do. And I have to say this in defense of some manufacturers. And by the way, I don't defend that, Alex. That should not be. I was not taught that by Barbara, Bob, and Jeff. They didn't teach me that, but some of my teammates were taught that by other manufacturers. And it's not good. It's not constructive. And on the other side of it, you get retailers who tell me absolute horror stories. And sometimes after I get to the bottom of the story, because sometimes it troubles me so bad that I'm like, I cannot believe he or she said that or did that to this poor retailer. And then when I find out the other side of it, I realize where nobody was 100% right and nobody was 100% wrong. And what I would just encourage everybody to do for the benefit of the entire industry is let's sit down with each other and say, here's a person of value that if I listen to them, I can learn something. Instead of saying, I'm the smartest guy or gal in the room and you can't teach me anything. And when we come at anything with that kind of a mindset, Alex, it's never good. It's never productive. And there's enough suspicion to go around on all sides of it. I made a joke on my show 2 weeks ago, and I said to retailers, us reps, we talk. So if you bounce a check on XYZ company and you don't think ABC company knows, they know. Trust me, they know.
Yeah.
They know more than you think. We compare notes more than you think. Even competitors compare notes. And so this is what I would say. And I would say it to retailers and I would say it to manufacturers. There's no secrets. There's no secrets in business. If you don't do business in a straightforward, honest way, in a fair, even handed way, you're going to end up being found out. And that goes for both sides. So I think that if we came at this from a little different angle and really just embrace the notion that here's somebody of value that I can learn something from, and then be as honest as we can be. And if something doesn't feel right, if something is bothering us, instead of waiting for months down the road after a few things have piled up and now we're ready to explode, the first time something doesn't feel right, let's bring it up to the other person. And I'm talking to both the retailer and I'm talking to the manufacturer here. Let's talk and have open discussions consistently before things get out of whack. And let's always give the other person the benefit of the doubt. Let's not assume they're trying to hurt me or screw me, because when we do that, we end up making it at least that way in our mind. And that's a horrible way to walk around. I mean, business is tough enough. Whether you're a retailer or you're a manufacturer, you have a lot of competition. You have a lot of obstacles, both internal and external, that you have to overcome. And making a mountain out of a molehill when you don't have to is not productive. It's not good for your mindset. So I've been doing all the talking. What say you, Alex? What say you?
Yeah, I think that's a really insightful point. And I just want to drive home that it really is not one side or the other that needs to, get their butts into shape. It's the manufacturers need to be looking at their relationships with their retail partners and seeing how they can help them sell more. Retailers need to be looking at their relationships with manufacturers and seeing if they are helping them with anything. That becomes, am I going to keep this manufacturer or am I going to find somebody who is more supportive of me? So I really think, driving home that both sides really
Yeah.
need to do their part is a great lesson.
Yeah. And I've always said this, when I was on the retail side of it, every SKU had to pay its rent, had to earn its keep. And some SKUs sell less than others, and some SKUs help other SKUs sell. But you, as a manufacturer, what I've always told my salespeople, I run my own sales company, and right about now, I think we've got about 10 reps. And I've been a VP of sales twice now. And super important that you, as a rep, you're doing your model mix on a regular basis and you know what's selling and what's not selling. And you're having conversations with your retailer on a regular basis. And I'm going to say this to you, all of you sales reps, all of you VPs of sales, all of you regional and district managers out there, either you make sure that your SKUs are productive or your retailer will be forced to replace them for you. and it may not be replaced with you. It might be replaced by another manufacturer. And you have no one to blame but yourself because you're not having these conversations with your customer. Your retailer should be asked the question, how are we doing? And you already should have the printout from last month's sales, and you should know exactly how they're doing and let them tell you what they need. And instead of us as manufacturers just throwing something up there that happens to be the special of the day, Mr. Retailer, what do you need? What are you missing right now? Do you have enough firms on your floor? Do you have enough plushes? Do you have enough medium firms? Do you have this technology? Do you have the other technology? Is there a sales story? Is there a competitor that's eaten into your business, and why? And what could I do to help you compete against that? Just a few ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great, Pete. Thank you so much for all of that awesome insight. It's always good talking to you.
No, pleasure's all mine. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great day and we'll talk soon.
You bet. Take care.